We are walking down River Street to do an update tour of Toronto's Regent Park, which was Canada's first public housing development. These red brick buildings on the right are what's left of the old Regent Park. This area was Cabbage Town at one time, and then some of the buildings were dilapidated, the old Victorian homes. So they tore them down and decided to put up government housing. At the time it was built, all these apartment buildings were rent geared to income, and now they are changing it to mixed income. This has been going on now for a couple of years. I think they're at phase 3, and they're going to have 5 different phases. So the last portion left is the portion that runs along Gerrard Street. Old Regent Park and New Regent Park. This whole area used to be all government subsidized housing, and now they are replacing all the subsidized housing, but they added condominiums and then they added market rent towers. So now it's a mix of people paying regular rental market rates, people that own condos, people that rent condos, and people that live in government subsidized apartments. It's a mix of all those things. And of course, they also added some new amenities like a recreation center, community center. There's an art center, there's a swimming pool, and there's a new central park called, of course, Regent Park. Lots of new stores too. It's all aligned with retail, where before the old buildings did not have any retail in them. As a matter of fact, a bank has now come to the area. It's the first bank in Regent Park. There's also a major grocery store. There's two Tim Hortons in the neighborhood. So I'm wondering how long it's going to be before a Starbucks opens. You can see all along here is retail. It's going to be retail. And all along here is these are retail outlets. And then all on the north side too, it's going to be all retail. This building here is going to also have retail. So this whole of Dundas Street that goes to Regent Park is going to be lined with retail. There's already a Shoppers Drug Mart in the neighborhood that moved here recently. And there's a Wendy's that came to the neighborhood. So you're starting to get a lot of corporate retail, which was never in Regent Park originally. Nice big podiums. So this is all really high density development, but it is the downtown core. We're in the west side, or rather the east side of downtown Toronto. So here's where more retail is going to go, where all these doors are. This has been going on now for probably 10 years, from planning to implementation. There is also a new athletic field. They got basketball courts, sponsored by the Raptors. They have a outdoor hockey arena, change rooms. They have a soccer field. washrooms and things like that right down this street here. They got a new seniors residence with a cafe, a new cafe that opened. Here's the park, here's the recreation, or rather the swimming pool. And I believe there's 3 swimming pools in there. There's like a kids pool, there's like a main pool, and then there's some kind of like therapeutic pool. There's a water slide inside there. It's a very busy place. Everybody's competing to have their special needs met in that booking time in the pool. So here we have Regent Park. This area was always called Regent Park, but it didn't really have any major parks. This is the first major park in the neighborhood that was built fairly recently in the last couple of years. Okay, we're coming up to the Regent Park Art Center. Spectrum, Daniel Spectrum. And here you got a little public square market area. They hold markets here. You got the Shoppers Drug Mart right here. You got the Tim Hortons over here. You got Subway sandwiches. You got a yogurt place. You have Enterprise Car Share over here. You have George Brown College campus here. There's also a medical center. There's offices up there. There's, oh yeah, there it is, Sumac Creek Health Center, and St. Michael's Hospital has places in there. So there you go. There's a government building. Straight ahead you got the Nelson Mandela School, and beside Nelson Mandela School you have the community center. And it's a pretty nice big community center, so they did a good job rebuilding all the facilities. There's also a youth center in Regent Park. There's also a new Christian resource center. So there's a whole bunch of amenities that they built for the neighborhood, which I think is really good. The park has cooking pits and barbecue pits, so you can have picnics in the park and cook in the park. And they have a really good children's play area, one of the best that I've seen. They got outdoor splash pads for the summertime. The kids can cool off. What else is in there? Oh, they got a community garden. So, and also this area is surrounded by a number of churches. So if you need to go to church, you got them close by. There's an unemployment center over here. There is a women's birthing center. If you want to give birth to your child, you don't want to go to a hospital, you want to do it naturally. They got a birthing center right here on the street. There's a dental office. There is a community kitchen. There's a restaurant that trains cooks in their community kitchen there. So you got a lot of different things going on here. This is the new Regent Park. As you can see, it used to be thought of as sort of a dangerous no-go area. Some people considered it kind of a ghetto, although I never felt it was dangerous. But obviously now things have really changed. Now it's pretty much a mix of incomes, middle income, low income, all different kinds of people. So that's what you have now in Regent Park. People are looking at me talking. I think I'm talking to myself, but I'm actually talking to this camera. And YouTube. Hey YouTube land. I'm not sure if it's a non-profit or what it is, but I heard that it's like they train chefs and people in the community. Here you got the dental office. And you got more government housing, paint box bistro. And then here you got condominiums. Okay. Over here you have the employment center. That's a government housing building. Over here you got the dental offices, and right beside that you have the birthing center is right here. As you can see, this is a really busy area because there's so many people now that live here with all the high density development going on. They also have townhouses. If you look at the side streets, there's lots of little townhouses. And some of the townhouses are condominiums and some of the townhouses are government housing. But they're fairly well made, so you don't notice that one is, you know, an upscale kind of a place and the other is government housing. They both look fairly decent. There you go. You have Employment Ontario, Ontario's Employment Training Network, Regent Park Catering. There, as you can see, you got Toronto Birth Center, Toronto Community Housing Offices. Over here you got the Regent Park Presentation Center, and that's where you go to buy your condos in the area. Right now Daniels is the main developer that's developed all the government housing, all the condos, basically everything. They've built it all. And here are some of the places on sale. The Sumac, Artworks Tower, Sutton Collection, different condos in the area. Some of the buildings here are condos and some are government housing. It's pretty hard to tell which is which, but the one on the right is government housing and the one on the left is the condo. The Christian Resource Center is right at the end of the street here. This here is a condo tower, right here. Condominium is there. And as you can see right here, you got the first bank in the neighborhood, the Royal Bank. We're now on the corner of Parliament Street is the next major street here. And we're on Dundas Street West. So this is basically the end of Regent Park. Here you go. This is all new Regent Park. I do fairly frequent updates of Regent Park, and the reason is because it's one of those areas of Toronto that's completely transforming from the ground up, and it's making a huge change because you used to have this area where a lot of people wouldn't go. It was considered a rougher area. And now you're basically transforming it into a mixed income area, a mixed use area. You're making it a lot more vibrant, a lot more lively, a lot more safe. Not only is it physically safe, but I think mentally people perceive it in a different way. Because I've never seen any violence or felt any danger here. But a lot of other people, you know, they watch the news, they hear about a murder every now and then they won't come in the area. So now the whole reputation is changing, that if you live in this neighborhood, you don't have the stigma. So here's a street here with all new buildings on it, and they're actually townhouses. On one side you have regular, regular townhouses that people own, that they've bought, and across the street you have rental units that are government housing. So people pay whatever their income is, right? It's based on whatever your income is. And you can't tell the difference. Nobody knows unless they actually know the city or they know the area. So that's basically it. This is the end of Regent Park. Oh, I'll show you the last of the retail, the major retail strip on the corner. Here you have another health center. Across the street you have the Toronto Native Center for Native Canadians. And over here you have Sobeys. No, it's Freshco. It's owned by Sobeys, but it's actually a Freshco. So we're on the corner now of Dundas and Parliament. This is basically what it looks like. Right there you have the major part of downtown Toronto. You got another Tim Hortons on the corner here. You have another store here, and you have the Sobeys. This is a condo here. So here you go. You got Sobeys. You got a bus coming. Although this street does have, this is Dundas Street. They have streetcars on this street, but I guess maybe the streetcars are reported. This is the Freshco. Condo development is so bad in the city of Toronto that the Toronto School Board, Toronto District School Board, advertises that they will not be able to take your kids in this neighborhood if you buy a condo. They're warning people, if you buy a condo, your kids are going to have to be bused to a different area because there are no spaces left in the schools here. Completely full. So that's how bad things are in Toronto. In a lot of neighborhoods, they put up these signs saying that they cannot accommodate new students in the neighborhood. It's because of all these new buildings, condos, towers going up everywhere. This is a conversation that I had with a woman who lives in this building. she just came up to me and started asking me what I was doing and talking to me. And the audio isn't very good, but it is what it is, right?
Like a change, eh?
What's that?
Like a change.
Yeah, it's a good change.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Because this is wireless.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I ask you about that building? What's it like inside there? The apartments. Are they nice? Is this a TCHC building?
Some of it is.
And
because I'm a senior, so I'm here. And yeah, they got seniors in here. They got kids with their mother and father. And some of the fathers work.
I was talking to a guy that told me he used to live here, and then they tore down his building and built new, but his apartment is so small. Are they really small, or are they like...
In the back. Those apartments in the back.
Some are small?
Yeah. Mine is a big one.
Because I would think if it's a brand new building, everything is nice and new, and...
Oh, everything is nice and new.
It's great.
One time my dishwasher.
Yeah.
It's up to the dishwasher.
Well, how many... Yeah, you don't really need a dishwasher, but it's got like everything that you basically need. Everything's well maintained and it's done right. Cool, it's good to hear that they actually... It's great, because the area used to be sort of a poor area, right?
Yeah.
And now it's a mix of all different kinds of people.
Yeah.
It's not, like it's all different incomes. Everybody gets
Right.
to enjoy the area. All the new amenities that went up. The art center, all that kind of stuff is great.
Swimming area over there, swimming pool.
In this building?
No, the next building.
Oh, the next building over.
In the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big pool there.
And are people friendly in the building?
Oh,
Yeah. Everybody gets along well?
yeah. That's good. So far. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.